So what is a no-deal Brexit in 10 days' time? What is it?
Well, the way it's looking now, it seems there's no end. Some would say it's a mess. Some would say it's a democracy at its very best. But it looks as if there's no end. Yesterday night, we had the Prime Minister, yesterday evening, she sat down with her cabinet, 18 members of her cabinet for apparently 6 hours. After the meeting, we had a majority of ministers wanting the Brexiteers, as they call them, the ones that are supposed to be.
That's a new word now.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Brexiteers.
Exactly. The Brexiteers want a hard Brexit. They don't want to delay, and they want to leave the customs union and the single market. But she has gone against their wishes to discuss with the leader of the Labour Party, the opposition party, Jeremy Corbyn, who doesn't want a hard Brexit. So it looks, from reports we're hearing, there's a very high possibility that today we could see a massive resignation from her cabinet.
So is Corbyn the man to break the Brexit deadlock now? Is he the one to save the situation?
Well,
or is it democracy or politics at play now?
Well, if you think about it like this, I mean, she has moved over, she could have moved over to him a very, very long time ago, but she hasn't. And the reason why she's moved over to him now is because her party has rejected, I mean, for the third time, her plan has been rejected. But now her entire party has rejected her plans. The DUP, because obviously the Conservative Party don't have a majority in Parliament. So the DUP, that's always also propping up their government, has rejected her plan. So she has little or no choice but to discuss with the opposition leader. She has given them everything. She has said if they pass her plan...
I was going to say that, which totally smacked of desperation. In the past week, she said, if you give me this, I'll give you my resignation as the leader of the party. Now, we haven't heard a thing about that in the past few days, and now you're projecting some mass resignations today. Where does that lead her deal? Well,
looking at it from here, it just looks as if it's dead in the water. It either looks as if we're looking at a second referendum or another general election.
So why not a second referendum? I have spoken with people who have said that some British citizens felt like they were deceived with false information leading to the earlier referendum, which was basically 51 to 49. That's like very marginal.
Which is very fair. It's very, very fair because the terms in which the referendum was fought was very deceitful. But saying that, now say we do have a second referendum. The British system, they pride themselves on their democracy.
Pride. So whose ego is at stake here?
So we have a second referendum, and the second referendum says they want to stay. Now, what about all the people that voted in the first referendum that they wanted to leave? Are we then going to go to a third referendum?
What does that take away from them? If the case is the first referendum was achieved based on falsehood, you misled us. We did not know that the UK, England, depended on some other countries within the EU, 27 other countries, for certain things that they produce that are solely theirs in their economy. We can't live without some drugs for some medical reasons, drugs for kidney issues and all that. We don't produce them in the UK. You did not tell us that before the referendum. So what's wrong with the second one?
Well, looking at it now, it looks as if that would be pretty much the only way out. It would be, I think, it would be disastrous for the Conservative Party to call another general election because they could be absolutely destroyed at the ballot box. And even if they did call another election, it just puts in the same guys that can't come to a deal now. So
we've seen conversations go from a hard Brexit to a soft Brexit to a weak Brexit.
To no Brexit at all.
The IMF says no deal Brexit poses risks for Europe.
Yes.
So what do you anticipate in this regard?
Well, the way it's looking, so on the 14th of April, they're going to be asking the European Union to extend to the May the 22nd. Giving them more time.
Do you see amenable conversations in this regard?
Well, yes. I mean, Europe, no matter how hardball they come across, they would want an orderly
given the stance
divorce.
By the France president, Macron, and the Irish president, they're meeting today.
Yes, and he's saying a lot. But the reality is, everybody would prefer a more organized and more orderly Brexit, but it's just looking very, very difficult to come to, a joint consensus. So it looks as if a referendum might be, go back to the people and ask the people.
This will be a continuing conversation. It's definitely something to wait and watch. Thank you for your time and thoughts on the show this morning.